Hey guys, so I have a theory for you. And it is centered around the two movies Romeo and Juliet and Romeo and Juliet Sherlock Gnomes. My theory is basically gonna be about where the pink flamingo, the guy pink flamingo, gnome type character from the first Romeo and Juliet movie was during the second movie. Because for the most of you for most of you people who don't remember the what happened in the first Romeo and Juliet and probably haven't even heard of it until now. It's basically retelling the story of Romeo and Juliet, but with gnomes, and it's much more like lighthearted than the original story by William Shakespeare, because they don't actually die at the end like they're supposed to, and it's a romantic comedy musical. So the first one is. The second one only had one song, but it was amazing. It was really amazing. uh, anyway, so yeah, I recommend that anyone who has not seen the first and second Romeo and Juliet movies go see them now. Um, Romeo and Juliet, the first one is on Amazon Prime. I mean, it's not free, but I mean, there may be some DVD copies of the movie if you guys are willing to look really, really hard in the stores. I don't know, but by the way, this is not sponsored at all. Although I would like to give a special thanks to the movies for giving me the courage to do this theory, because those two movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. I still remember some of the songs from the original, and I very much remember the song from the second one. So, I have the second one right here. I don't know if it's on Blu-ray and DVD anymore, but it may be. You guys just probably have to look. And if you can't find it on Blu-ray and DVD, it's on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime marked it as with their Prime tag, so that means it's like you don't have to buy it with real money. It's like free because they say so. So yeah. Anyway, as long as you have Amazon Prime, you can pretty much get access to the second Romeo and Juliet Sherlock Gnomes anytime you want, but you'll have to buy the first one with real money because I don't know why, but they Amazon Prime just us Prime logos the stuff that they think deserves it at the time, I guess. Maybe it has to do with what's most popular. I just realized that that's the case. Anyway, so on to my theory. In the first Romeo and Juliet, a little while after our two new Latin lover protagonists named Nomeo, obviously a play on Romeo, because they had to, they had to put gnome in at least one of the original characters' names. And I don't think you can fit gnome anywhere in Juliet. So I think they did it a good choice by choosing Romeo to put gnome in there. I mean, it's a retelling of a classic Shakespeare story about gnomes, so you've got to expect that at least one of the main characters is going to have gnome in their name instead of like original syllables, right? Okay, so halfway after meeting and eating each other, Romeo and Juliet are sneaking secretly behind their warring respective red gnome family, Emily, Juliet's red gnome family, and blue gnome family, Nomeo's blue gnome family, to eat at the place that basically they're sneaking to the place where they first met, which was an abandoned garden, abandoned by its original owners, which was overgrowing with flowers and weeds and all other kind of stuff. And they met there while trying to get a Cupid's arrow orchid, which is a flower in the film that was growing on top of this shed that they fought together for ownership of the Cupid's arrow orchid. And basically the reason this fight started is because the blues and the reds both needed they wanted a new flower for or an awesome centerpiece to show up the other warring family. So, and Juliet saw an opportunity when she noticed a Cupid's arrow orchid growing on a shed, on top of a shed, in an abandoned garden. And Nomeo noticed it about the same time. Keep in mind they were not in the same family. Juliet was in the red gnomes and Nomeo was in the blue gnomes. They were warring, and there's a whole eulogy thing explaining like no one knows why the feud started. It's basically Romeo and Juliet. The reds and blues are having a feud, and no one knows why it started. But I mean, like it's a little more clear a little bit why it started, because I mean you can kind of see it in the red gnomes and the blue gnomes owners, because the red gnomes owner is a guy. I mean, so basically a little sub-theory that I have is because it's really actually easier to tell why the feud started in this movie, because the gnomes owners really hate each other. the blue gnomes have a lady in the 80 who just really loves blue for an owner, and she hates this other guy that lives right next to her in like they the guy and the lady basically live in a two new house complex, which is one house is on one side and then there's a wall and then the other house is on the other side and blue house, wall, red house, blue gnomes, blue lady who likes blue, hates this other guy in the eye. He has the red house, he loves red, hates the lady right next to him, and he owns all the red gnomes. Yeah, they basically argue a lot, and it kind of shows that it's rubbed off on their gnomes, I guess. So, yeah, you might just want to watch the movie. It's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, so back to the theory. So Romeo and Juliet have basically been sneaking into the abandoned garden where they fought for the Cupid's arrow orchid to show their love and affection for each other, because they know if they showed it for each other normally in either of their family's gardens, they would like just be forced apart by each other, or even worse, smashed, because remember, you can do that to gnomes, but I wouldn't recommend it. And yeah. So one day when they meet in the abandoned garden, they hear someone yelling for help, and or they think they don't really hear someone yelling for help because it's muffled by another shed. Oh no, wait, 8, sorry, not another shed. Well, it is a shed, but when I said that the Cupid's arrow orchid was growing on top of a shed, I meant a greenhouse. Yes, I did take my 12 o'clock pill. Thank you. No. Also, I'm doing a theory. I love you, Mama Gigi. Anyway, so greenhouse, Cupid's arrow orchid, shed not too far away. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so Romeo and Juliet are busy showing their affection for one another when they meet up, and all of a sudden they hear some strange noises coming from this shed that's not too far away from them. They start to move towards it slowly, fearing something terrible is going to come out and hurt them. And while they move towards the shed, Romeo picks up a rusty metal thing. I don't know what to call it other than the pink flamingo dude's egg, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, so as they're moving towards the shed, Romeo picks up this rusty metal well, it's sort of a sword to the gnomes because they're so small, so let's just call it a sword for now. And they finally get to the shed and open it, and then they realize that there's this pink lawn flamingo that's missing one of his legs and has been abandoned in this shed, Ned, with no owners to claim him, and they also find out that the sword thingy that Nomeo is holding is his missing leg, the egg. So the flamingo takes that and now he has both legs, and he comes out of the shed, and he calls out Nomeo and Juliet for being lovers. And I mean, mind you, he's happy for them being lovers, as he's calling them out for it. I mean, he's really happy about it. I mean, you'll understand later when I tell you what his story of woe is, because, like, I mean, of course, Nomeo and Juliet don't want anybody to find out, because they're so afraid of their warring families not approving, so of course they start to not say. I mean, so of course they start to say that they're not lovers, and then they start to argue for reals, and then the flamingo starts to get upset and tells them his story of woe, which is the owners that used to live in the house that was once in the abandoned garden that they are standing in right now, had a falling out, and that and the lovers who basically had a falling out and owned the the pink lawn flamingo dude, and another flamingo, lawn flamingo, who was a girl, the Earl. They had a falling out, and then they broke up, and one of them each took a lawn flamingo and did whatever they want with it. But this was bad because the lawn flamingos were in love, and they did not want to be separated. But the lady took the female lawn flamingo ornament, and the man took the guy lawn flamingo ornament, and basically he took off one of his eggs one day, and left him in the shed that same day, and then just forgot about him, and I guess he moved away and never looked back. So yeah, basically the lawn flamingo said that fighting ruined his is relationship fighting by other people ruined his relationship with another, and and he didn't want fighting to ruin another relationship. So yeah. Um, eventually, he and this advice helps Romeo and Juliet throughout out the movie, and the lawn flamingo becomes very airy, like I real like by the end of the movie, the lawn flamingo was integrated into the newly peaceful, eastful red and blue colony of gnomes. At least I thought, but by the time this movie rolled around, the the newlywed owners of the red and blue gnomes. That's right. The the obsessed with blue lady and the obsessed with red lady, the 80 um got over their differences as well. And they moved away from their old house and brought every single gnome that they owned, well, except for Gibble from the first movie, because I think while he was celebrating and eating with all of the other reds and blues, his accidental injuries, from almost being smashed, kind of, came to after the screen cut black when he accidentally tore off his leg. I don't know. Gibble just wasn't in the like second movie, but we kind of have a reason for that, because he was almost smashed on screen in the first movie, but that what keep in mind, it was by accident, almost by accident. Look, by accident, almost smash. Almost accidental smash. You guys understand. I'm just gonna say that you guys understand what I'm saying, so yeah. But then I think but then he comes back, but then his obsessed with red owner, glues him back together. Only, I think for him only to, accidentally smash himself off screen, and everyone probably holds a funeral for him, on off screen or something. Yeah, we have a reason for that. At Gimel not being in the second movie, but we don't have a reason for the lawn flamingo not being in the second movie. The obsessed with blue lady and the obsessed with red guy got over their differences, just like their gnomes, and then they moved away from their old house, and then they moved to London and got a new house, which is London, which is the second setting for the second movie, and this came out like way too like it, this second movie was just a very long wait. It was just a very long wait. They literally brought every single gnome to London from the first movie with them, except for the lawn flamingo, which he was integrated into the family of the blues and red gnomes in the first movie. He was seen celebrating with them at the end of the first movie. So I thought that when they eventually made the sequel that he was going to be included in it, but he wasn't. Now of course, we could say that he wasn't originally bought by the blue and red gnome owners. So maybe they just saw him and thought that somebody left him on their air lawn on by mistake. But that would mean that they would return him, earn him to whoever left him on their lawn before they moved, and I don't think that that's the case. I really don't, because they obviously knew that there had to be some lawn ornaments left by some people who lived in the literal overgrown garden that was literally able to be viewed by every single gnome owned by the obsessed with blue lady and the obsessed with red guy, while also being able to be viewed by the obsessed with red guy and obsessed with blue lady. I'm pretty sure that they might have been able to see that there was an overgrown garden behind their houses, and know that people used to live there, and that they also had lawn ornaments. So if they earned the flamingo to that overgrown garden, they would just be earning him to nothing, which is honestly like just a really like bad thing to do. Like, I mean, if they returned him to that overgrown garden, they would just be leaving him without any owners, without any friends, like, and it's just sad to think about, isn't it? I think there has to be another explanation. Maybe okay, so my theory is that the lawn on ornament flamingo dude stayed behind willingly after coming into contact with his girlfriend from his past, who escaped the watchful eyes of her female owner just to run all the way to wait. Yeah, I think that the dude flamingo lawn ornament stayed behind willingly because he came into contact with his past girlfriend who ran away from her owner just so she could be with her like boyfriend. And I mean, you could say that Nomeo and the rest of the gnomes could have probably tried to talk the guy flamingo and the girl flamingo into going with them to London, but I totally believe that they did try to, but I mean, are two lovers that just reunited really gonna leave the only place that okay, let me rephrase that. So are two lovers that have been separated for 4 years, I'm gonna say, because I haven't watched the original Romeo and Juliet in a long time. I lost my DVD copy. And who just reunited. So our two lovers who have been separated for 4 years that just reunited gonna either are gonna either settle down so they can catch up and let their relationship it flourish back and do what it once was, or are they gonna just hop up on some ticket to a new place that they don't have any history in which will probably make the process of like getting to like so are they gonna either settle down in a place that they have history in so they can like make up for lost time and get to know each other better and catch up and like try to mend their relationship back together, or are they gonna get a ticket to hop on some vehicle to a new place that they have no memories of at all, and frankly a place that will probably make the process of mending ending relationships back together very, very hard. I think they're probably going to want to settle down in a place that's familiar so they can mend their broken relationship and think about like their future, and probably when they're ready, they'll find their own way to join their new awesome gnome family in London. But it's not gonna be the sequel, the equal Romeo and Juliet Sherlock Gnomes. It's probably gonna be in the third movie, which is probably gonna take even longer for them to make. Bless our hearts as we wait. Anyway, thank you for being patient, everybody. You guys are amazing, and I hope you enjoyed this theory. I'm gonna upload it now. Bye!